Welcome in to the Triple Play Fantasy Football Show. Let's go. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the podcast. Welcome into another episode of the Triple Play Fantasy Football Show, a proud member of Fantasy Points and the Fantasy Points Media Group. Reminder, use code TRIPLEPLAY22 to get 10% off all the tools over at fantasypoints.com. You've got DFS optimizers, you've got projections, you've got some of the best minds in the fantasy football game giving you numbers you need to know. So make sure you check that out as soon as you're done listening to us tonight. Welcome into another show, guys. Of course, we have Johnny, Eric, and the Bradstradamus is back in the house tonight. Bradstradamus, did you miss us? I feel like it's been like 3 weeks since we last saw you.
Man, I've been scrounging up money trying to buy the Washington Commanders. I need about $8 billion more.
A few more Greg Dortch hits, and then we're there.
Exactly.
Join the ownership group of RG3, PFT. I think what's his name?
McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey was in on it. I mean, it's a powerhouse group right there.
Bezos, Jay-Z. Bezos doesn't need any of those people. I don't know why he's even entertaining.
Brad, would you rather own a football team or have one dinner with Jay-Z?
Own a football team, absolutely.
That's not
I hate those Twitter questions.
I hate them. I hate them so much.
Well, for those that are listening,
look at Dave's flu game.
We're going to power through here. So for those that are listening, I apologize for my nasally voice and some coughing. But I got to ask you guys, we're in a bunch of leagues together, some in the same league and others just throughout the entire conference or whatever. Johnny, how did you do overall in week 9?
Week 9 was a pretty bad week for me. Besides the Scott Fish Bowl, I lost every game.
Did you move up the standings?
Huh?
Did you move up the standings in Scott Fish Bowl?
Yeah, like number 900.
Yeah, you know what? You're in the top 1,000. That's what matters. What about you, Doc?
Split bag. Ever since I went like 9-0 that 1 week, I knew it was all downhill from there.
And it's hard to go 9-0 in all your leagues every week. So the fact that you got one is pretty cool. And then, Brad, what about you?
This was probably my best week to date. I moved up to like 638 in Scott Fish Bowl because I have Mixon on so many of my teams. So that was a great week for me, except for, I think, the 11 Amateurs 1 Pro League that I'm in with you guys.
Yeah, you have a good team. Just Jonathan Taylor obviously not working out, and a couple of things here and there. Shout out to
me. I think I started like 3-0.
Yeah, you did. It's tough. It's a long season, and injuries start to mount. It's happened in a few of my teams, but shout out to Jacob Dunn, Triple Play Zone Jacob Dunn, who's number 7 overall in the Scott Fish Bowl. So in the top 10, had a great week last week with Mixon and Justin Fields on his team. So he is a powerhouse right now. And I believe that Scott Fish said if the season ended today, I want to say it was like 1,268 points would have gotten you in, regardless of your record. Yeah. So
did any of you guys playoff picture?
Did any of you guys have that threshold right now?
I'm 7. Yeah, I have 1,363 points.
So you technically be in.
Got to go 4-0 these last 2 weeks to hit 13 wins.
Yeah, but you can.
I got 1396, so I'm in.
Yeah, Johnny. Even if you don't have 13 wins, he cuts it off at a certain point scored too. So like, if
that's what I'm banking on. But who knows?
And then anything can happen once you get in.
Yeah.
Well, let's look back besides fantasy and just the week that was week 9. Brad, give me your wow moment from week 9.
It's definitely Mixon, man. I'm sure I'm stealing the rest of the years, but just him actually pretty much having a basic year up until this point. He's getting a lot of touchdowns vultured. He was getting a lot of kind of bad offensive line play, not having a lot of holes. And then with the Bengals kind of being not so great the first few games of the year, that game script was kind of favoring the pass, so he wasn't getting a lot of touches in the second half. So for him to have this breakout game and really rock himself up the fantasy board was pretty special.
But
Yeah.
that's the Mixon special, is now he'll go back to being regular or worse
Exactly.
than regular for the
Very
rest of
much
the
so.
season.
I played against Mixon in 3 leagues. Both
And
my
then,
home.
and then next year, everybody will point to, look at how many points he had over the course
Yep.
of the season when
Right,
50 of them are from
right.
one game.
He's accumulator. He does it like very sporadic. And then it's always I feel like at the end of the season when he goes on this run that changes his whole season around. So maybe he's starting it a little early. Doc, what about you?
Yeah, so we talked about earlier how sometimes you think you know better than coaches, and I mean, evident.
Eric does at least.
Evident with the Rams-Bucks game. The Rams have a chance to win it. They have an awful run game, and they run it 3 times, and then the the Bucks get the ball back, and they end up winning the game. And Cooper Kupp, who's a pretty reserved guy, just sounds off after saying, "If teams know that we're going to run 3 times, why don't we pass the ball?" So, just. I think more teams need to play to win rather than avoid to lose. Be a little bit aggressive with it. Obviously, hindsight is 2020. If they win the game, nobody's saying anything. If they pass and it's an incompletion, people are saying, why didn't you run the ball and make them burn a timeout? But especially when you have a run game like the Rams, it just makes more sense to pass in those situations.
It definitely does. Shout out Rig, man. Always joining the show here. Always appreciate you, buddy. Love talking sports with you. Now it's all 4 exceptional gentlemen since Brad is back.
I'm
Johnny,
climbing up the leaderboard in our football league with him.
There you go. Yeah, he had Eric and I in the Discord try to guess which one was your team in football and in basketball. And I got the football one right, but I was really shocked I didn't get the basketball one right.
You missed out on my Ben Simmons love.
That's right. Johnny, give us your week 9 wow moment.
I mean, it's got to be Justin Fields looking like a prime Michael Vick out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like they really finally started to move the offense more towards his skill set than trying to force him to do something that he's not excelling at. I mean, he's played, 3 good defenses in a row, New England, Dallas, Miami. And he's performed really well the past 3 games. And after languishing on everybody's bench, it's crazy that now he's going to be like a league winner or anything that you can turn around and win with.
I drafted him as my backup quarterback in one of my home leagues in the 11 amateurs, one pro to back up Kirk Cousins. And I kept him for the first month or so, and then I dropped him. And I was the one that waited longest on quarterback. And sure enough, now someone else has him picked up, and I offered him Cortland Sutton for Justin Fields since his starter's Tua, and he declined it. So that hurts.
Am I remembering this correctly? At Ohio State, he was pretty much a pocket passer at Ohio State because he had an incredible line, and he would.
I saw a great collection of tweets where somehow we've had him written off as an inaccurate quarterback, but the thing everybody praised going into the draft was his accuracy.
Yeah, now he's a running quarterback, and they're using his talents. I love the fact that they took stuff from the Ravens and the Browns and a couple other playbooks and molded it to him. I think that's like new generation of coaching, being like, hey, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. If they've got something that works, why would I not use that? So I think that was really good of the coaching staff. And Riggs says Claypool's superb pickup by Chicago, even though they overpaid, but he's going to accelerate their rebuild. I'm excited to see what the Bears do next year. They need to draft a wide receiver early next year. And I think allow like Mooney and Claypool to be the secondary options. And I think I'd feel better about it. They obviously have Khalil Herbert as their starting running back.
The irony that they trade for Claypool, and then I think Fields has the most rushing attempts, 15.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And Jasper here, thoughts on just Jahan Dotson and Josh Allen. I'm not holding on to Dotson. I feel like he's
dynasty asset.
I'm assuming he meant in redraft. Sure. Josh Allen, it sounds like he's trying to play. The question is, does he? And they haven't released anything.
I mean, I think with Josh Allen, you're just holding on to him. You're not going to try and trade him.
Go get a backup quarterback, even if you don't need them, just in case. You need to use a bench spot for that.
Do you get a little worried about elbow injuries?
He did throw 169 yards after the injury, so it's like maybe he can fight through it. Wentworth Scribner says, should I trade Pollard and Terry for Dameon Pierce, 12-man PPR? I have Barkley, Justin Jefferson, Diggs, and Mixon.
I wouldn't.
I think I would.
I don't think
Tell me why you would, David.
Because Pollard is handicapped with Zeke there. I know Pollard is definitely going to have some weeks that he could be good, but his ceiling is really capped with Zeke there. Terry is borderline flex play right now. Dameon Pierce is at RB2. You set it and forget it every week. I'd rather have the definite Dameon Pierce than banking on Tony Pollard being a solid flex play for me.
I like that too,
But-
Davey.
But looking at the rest of his team, he's already got Diggs and Jefferson. So he's not really using Terry. And then Pollard, like you said, he's
I think
handcuffed. I'm
It's essentially an upgrade from Pollard to Pierce at this point.
Pollard has the highest upside out of anyone in here. I mean, he has top 5 running back upside. And I just think like Zeke is going to play and he's healthy, but what if he re-injures that PCL and he already has a bone bruise? Like,
Well, good thing you don't have to say what if for Dameon Pierce because he's their starter and he gets
That's
all
right.
the carries.
Yeah. I think John and I are on the same page with that one. So it sounds like we're split. So I don't know if that helps, but that's how we feel with
go
that.
with whatever reasoning you like better.
Atlanta, where are they going to draft a quarterback this coming offseason, replace Mariota? Patterson is going to get them to division champs, perhaps. Atlanta has definitely been a surprise.
Don't they
Not to
have
me.
a rookie quarterback? Not highly touted or anything.
Yeah.
but-
they already have Desmond Ritter.
They have to give him a chance because you have to know if you're going to be in the
Yeah,
market. for one next
exactly.
year.
Why they're winning? Why would they give him a chance? They're in like first place or a game back.
Is Mariota you're going to go with him as your starter next year, or
Not
Desmond
next
Ritter
year,
hasn't
but
played a
this-
snap?
This year they could legit.
I'm sure what you said makes sense, but your mic cut off.
Yeah, I was wondering if he cut out on just me or everybody.
Jasper says he has both in redraft, picked up Garoppolo just in case. I think that's a good call. And Rick says Case Keenum is the highest backup in the NFL, just behind Jimmy G.
Nah, Tyler Huntley, baby.
Huntley's pretty good too. I'm surprised you guys didn't bring up as a wow moment being the Jeff Saturday thing. I feel like that's been making ripple effects across the league.
I love it. I love.
You know,
I was
so
thinking about the game action, to be honest.
can I say I think my wow moment is once Dan Snyder is gone as owner. I think Jim Irsay might be the worst owner in NFL.
So I heard them say that they think the Colts are intentionally tanking to try. I mean, that's why they keep Sam Ellinger in there. That's why they're having a coach come in.
You might as well at this point. You get 6 losses. You have to pretty much win out to win the to get to a wild card spot.
But what has Irsay done besides luck into drafting Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck?
They haven't done anything.
Can you,
They've been.
can you guys hear me on my mic?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yep.
I think worst
So
worst
the-
owner outside Dan Snyder. He's got some baggage and some personal stuff too, but he's held that franchise.
The reason I love this move is because I think it's going to open up a lot of doors for giving actual players who understand the everyday, the ins and outs of everything, more opportunities to just skip the line and just actually do what, you know, they believe that, you know, all this coaching carousel, the same, you know, 30 head coaches that get hired everywhere. But the thing is, it's like they've been making the argument for a long time that a head coach is really just a CEO of a team.
He cut out again.
Yeah. Oh man. It's all good. It's all good. The mic's a little rusty.
Oh, I wanted to know where he was going because I was going to say Jeff
Yeah.
Saturday doesn't seem like a good CEO to just jump into the position.
The
I'm
only
surprised
thing
he
is
said yes.
if they give players more opportunities to coach right away, like what's the point of being an offensive line coach? Like if you don't have a way to get promoted, like if your pipeline dream is that much further to reach.
Well, keep in mind, there's probably dozens of people that wanted that job, and he literally just came from the sidelines and took it.
It's
Can you imagine-
wild that their special teams like coordinator who's 30 years old is going to be the play caller now.
Yeah, it's a mess, and I think they're doing it on purpose.
I think it was like the backup or the associate QB coach.
Yeah,
Like it's not even the primary QB coach. It's like the
But I saw a
junior.
weird tidbit that he had Jim Irsay officiate his wedding.
Oh,
The
wow.
play caller.
That's kind of wild.
Very weird.
Um,
And it's wild that the Colts are like a game and a half out of first.
and
they're
Riggs on
tanking.
board too. He
Are they
thinks
really?
that Indy is
I
tanking.
think so.
I had
yeah.
no idea they were that close.
Not for Wembanyama. Everybody's tanking for Wembanyama except the Wizards, unfortunately. Thoughts on sending Jalen Hurts? And this is from Chris Genova. I don't think I've seen your name before, so welcome to the stream, my friend. Hurts for some value in getting Fields. So he's sending Jalen Hurts to get Justin Fields. I don't think I'm doing that.
Nah.
That's a lot of risk.
Yeah. He's 5-4, got Waddle, DJ Moore, Eckler. I don't see there being a reason to do that. Hurts has literally done it all season, and Fields has done it over the last couple games. You can't bank that he's going to keep up what he's doing all season.
I see what he's saying here. He's saying he's
He
got a
wants
lot
to
of
get
injuries.
extra players too.
Yeah. Okay.
To upgrade the rest.
I still don't do it.
I might look elsewhere to get that value. Maybe sell
he's-
off DJ Moore or something.
He said trading Hurts and getting Fields off waivers.
I would get Fields off waivers first, and then you think about your next move.
You could even try and trade Fields.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's a
you
great
wouldn't get as much, but I mean, God,
get that depth
off waivers just to be able to trade him is a good move.
And you don't know unless you have like the number one waiver priority or something like that. You don't know for sure if you'll get Fields.
John, I think you're spot on, John. That's the move. Sell off Fields once you get him.
Yeah, I think that's the right way to go too.
This would also be a great selling time for Fields.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had
Top of the market.
All right, let's, as we always do now, the second half of the show, we're going to go into some sports betting. John has something to tell you guys about sports betting.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, this is something that needs to be done responsibly. We don't actually condone it. This is just sort of hobby purposes and entertainment purposes. We don't condone gambling. It needs to be done responsibly and legally.
Mm-hmm.
And also, we're not really liable for what you end up doing. Again, our reasoning is all for hobby and entertainment, so we're not liable for anything else.
No one does it like you, John. Let me get that off of our screen. There we go. Thank you, Brad, whoever did that.
I got you.
All right. Oh, and there was one other question I was going to get to before, and Chris says he's got Fab, so I guess he's confident he can get the Fab for Justin Fields off waivers. Our buddy Vinny DTF says, "What would you want for Alvin Kamara in Dynasty?"
That's an interesting question.
I would want. I don't know if you'll get it, but I would want like Ken Walker.
No,
no, that's not happening.
I'd say realistically, you could get this is probably the lowest Gabe Davis's value will be. So Gabe Davis and Rachaad White and maybe a first
pick. Yeah, I was gonna say definitely want to throw a high pick in there.
That's what I would go. I'd go with Eric, like a first round pick, a backup running back, a young backup running back that has the path to be a starter, and then maybe like a starting wide receiver.
I think you guys hit the nail on the head with that. So let's go and talk about some bets as we always kind of cover the Thursday night game. We have the Falcons at -3 at the Panthers. Do you guys like that spread?
Yes.
I'm going
Falcons should cover that for sure.
Falcons are only good when they're underdogs.
Over or under 43.5?
I'm going over.
That would be like
I'm gonna go under.
I'm going under too.
Thursday night games, I feel like always have lower scoring.
And the Panthers aren't lighting the world on fire on their end either.
No.
PJ Walker is kind of on a thin leash, and then Baker comes in after him. I don't know.
Anytime touchdowns are always fun to look at.
Oh, let's see if Greg Dortch is on
there. We have Cordero highest odds.
It's no fun to do the highest odds though.
No, it's not. No. You're right.
And those are bad odds.
I like Terrace Marshall.
Me too.
Plus 240.
Led the Panthers in targets last day.
Yes, can Kyle Pitts repeat?
I would have thought he would have had longer odds on Terrace Marshall.
I thought he would have too.
We're getting down to the
he was ahead of Pitts.
Atlanta defense.
Right.
I'd take Atlanta defense for an anytime touchdown.
Plus
I think that's low for a defense too.
That is low. I would have wanted like plus 1,000 at least.
The ghost of Brian Edwards is there at plus 220.
Oh my God!
I don't think he gets snapped.
That is a lost draft class from the Oakland Raiders. That draft class,
dude, they just cut their first round, their other first round pick, Jonathan Abraham.
You can't complain how they're doing when you look at who they draft in the first round for the past 10 years.
Has Jonathan Abraham been bad?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
How do they have all your first round picks from the last 3 drafts be this bad?
The Mike Mayock Gruden magic.
Shout out Josh Jacobs though.
Yeah, I know. When you know they're 1 for 5 or 6 or something. So.
And they didn't even pick up his option. I don't think.
Now he's going to get paid too much.
Yeah.
I
think I go Atlanta defense with the longest odds, even though they're not that great.
I think I'm going to go. I don't love any of these.
I like a Drake London. He's been quiet for a few weeks in a row. I feel like he's due.
David's
I'll take-
prepared to spend a lot. He got 50 in his account.
I'll take Kyle Pitts at plus 250.
I'll take Demir Bird at plus 800.
Ooh.
That's a good one.
Oh, Eric, that's the one.
Demir
He's
Bird.
been
Demir Bird.
he's been really good.
That's a
Sneaky.
shot in the dark there.
That's not. It's not. He's pretty much there, like wide receiver 2 now. It's really weird.
He
Baker
makes some
played-
big plays too.
Baker
Yeah,
played
man.
fairly well
That's
last
a good pick,
week.
Eric.
Would you want Carolina to start PJ Walker or Baker Mayfield?
I think PJ Walker. You know what you got with Baker.
Same. I think I'd go with PJ Walker.
I'd say Sam Darnold, to be honest. I want to know what Sam Darnold's got.
Yeah,
I think
that's
they just
true.
activated him.
Their QB situation is awful.
God,
Is it for
remember
the
last year when Sam Darnold was good for like the first 4 weeks of the season?
Well,
So
this is him.
strange.
Everybody like has pooped on Sam Darnold. They said he was awful with the Jets, and then he said, "Oh, you have a redemption with the Panthers," and he was awful. He's just a bad quarterback. But are those the two like arguably worst places to have been quarterbacks? So does he fully like figured out at this point? Like, does he deserve another chance?
He's getting the Josh Rosen treatment.
Yeah.
God, Josh Rosen, man, he just completely fell off. I'll never understand that.
He got signed to some team like early this year, and then he got cut before preseason.
Josh Rosen. Okay, so that was a look at just some of the spread and anytime touchdown in this game. If you guys have a game in front of you that is interesting to you that you would want me to look at, I'm going to pull it up. We have Seattle at Tampa Bay, Jacksonville at Kansas City. Ooh, that's a good game.
Take a look at Packers Cowboys.
Packers Cowboys.
Why?
I mean, an anytime touchdown to like a fifth string wide receiver could be possible in this game.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to see what the odds are for like Christian Watson to get a score.
Why is
Is
it
he
not?
playing? He got another concussion.
No, they said it wasn't a concussion.
Yeah, they said he got the wind blown out of him, and then they just held him out because he had a concussion last week.
How is Dallas only favored by 5 points?
They don't have
That's another thing.
the touchdown odds yet. It's too early in the week.
Okay, but
How is
like
he-
Eric said, Dallas should be much bigger favorites. I think.
No, I think they should too. I think that's a good spread to attack there. I'm surprised it's only 5 points as well.
Yeah,
So
there's
that
a
could be-
lot of lines I like this week. I like
Ooh,
Saints minus 2.5 at Steelers. Saints.
That's it? Minus 2.5.
Saints minus 2.5 at Pittsburgh.
Oh
I
my
could see
god.
that. I could.
That's a-
No, I like that spread. I mean, the
They've been
Saints
playing-
are.
Their defense has been playing well, and I think
They shut out the vaunted Raiders offense.
But they also can't score.
that's
No.
true. That's true.
Vinny
And
says
Pittsburgh isn't a terrible defense either.
would Swift in a high second be good enough for Kamara for you?
I wouldn't.
Not with Swift.
Swift is too injury prone.
Yeah. I think he's going to be in a timeshare his whole career. He just can't stay healthy.
I agree.
Good point. PJ Walker poops his pants. Yeah, he did. And Jasper says Garoppolo, Josh Allen, Stevenson, Moore, Algier, Samuel, St. Brown. That's a rough bye week.
Yeah, please
That's
don't
rough.
read all of those.
I'm not going to read all of them. But yeah, it's kind of
How
rough
big are
teams
the
with,
rosters?
with the bye weeks.
Another game I like, and I'm hard on my 49ers. I like them to cover 7 against the Chargers.
Oh, I would
You
love
think?
that.
7's a big score.
They have a beat up O-line. The 49ers are fresh coming off a bye week, a Sunday night game. I mean, the Chargers assume they don't have Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. It's really just Josh Palmer and Gerald Everett. We play running backs very well. So
That's true.
I think they'll have to play from behind. I think it's going to be a good game for the 49ers, D.
Well, what about the one I have on screen right now? The Bucks is 2.5-point favorites in Germany against Seattle. A team
Oh,
that's
that's in
6 and-
Germany.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I have no idea.
I like the
I try
over
to
on
stay
that.
away from those
like the over on
international
that.
games.
I mean, that's kind of surprising with Seattle being 6-3 and the Bucks being disappointing that they still are 2.5-point favorites and they're not even at home.
Yeah, it
I
should be
think
a
I'd
neutral.
take-
It should be a neutral field, technically being in Germany, but
Yeah.
I think I'd take the. Man, I don't know because the Seahawks have a great offense, and the Bucks can't score, so I kind of want to stay away from the totals.
Yeah, I think I
Um,
do too.
At the same time, 2.5 is not a lot.
It's almost
for
like
the
a pick'em
spread.
game, almost.
Yeah. That scares me. And Germany is a wild card.
Yep.
Everybody's traveling. I don't know. I'd probably stay away from this one.
And Jasper says take the Bucks and the under. I like that. I think I actually would agree with you on that one, Jasper. And Riggs says he agrees on that. Johnny, do you see the Raiders giving out a contract to Carr?
So he signed a
Hmm.
big extension this offseason, but they have an out where they could cut him after this year with not a lot of dead money. So that's going to be the $1 million question. But I just that's pretty much like an ultimatum if you're McDaniels. If you make a change at quarterback, you either win quickly next year or you're fired within a few games.
John, they've blown 3 games where they've had a 17-point lead. Why are they blowing these games?
You're telling me. Because Derek Carr gets extremely cold.
Okay.
But also,
he threw 30 yards in the second half. Like, that's outrageously low.
Well,
also
speaking of
Devontae Adams came to the Raiders in part because of Derek Carr.
Exactly.
So
That's
right.
That's like half the reason you want to keep Carr is because you get to keep Devontae Adams.
I agree.
Exactly.
That's a very good point, Brad. Andrew hops in the chat and says Josh Jacobs for CeeDee Lamb. He has Henry, Walker, C-Pat at running back, Cooper, St. Brown, and Boyd. I would do that trade.
I want CD plus something.
Have Henry.
Because his running backs are solid, but his wide receiver 1 is St. Brown, and his wide receiver 2 is Cooper.
I don't know.
But Josh Jacobs has been elite.
Having Josh Jacobs in a flex spot is fantastic.
Yeah.
If this is PPR, I like it. If it's half PPR, then I want a little more than CD.
Yeah. Andrew, what's the league format, just so we know? Rick says, I'll take a German sausage over the winner, by the way, Tampa Bay, Seattle. And Carr is definitely not the answer for Las Vegas.
I saw a great comparison that he's the Mendoza line for a quarterback.
Yeah.
And
I said that a couple weeks ago. It used to be Andy Dalton, and now it's
Derek Carr. And they've just been stuck with him for so long. So, because he
Are
can't
we doing the
move on.
Mendoza line like top 16? Or is no, Mendoza's 200, right?
I think like just if you're talking like maybe not statistics specifically or anything, but just like game breaking talent wise, like if you're better than Derek Carr, you upgrade the team a lot. If you're worse, you'll probably get cut in a season or two.
Yeah. And Andrew says 0.5 PPR, but he couldn't
I'd
get
want more than CD.
Fair enough. But he wouldn't budge, he said.
I love having Josh Jacobs in a flex, and he catches 100%. A few passes these days.
Oh, he also has Kelsey, too.
I want Josh Jacobs in pretty much any one of those scenarios. It would have to be CeeDee Lamb plus another like running back I can start in the flex, like CeeDee Lamb plus a Dameon Pierce.
So Andrew, it sounds like that for the most part we're against the trade, but we're here live every single Tuesday night at 6:30. So if you have been enjoying hanging out with us, you're welcome to come back with your questions every Tuesday because we appreciate you, man.
Yeah, when CeeDee Lamb goes off and Josh Jacobs doesn't do well, he can come rub it in.
Well, you know what? I was the one that said he should do the trade. You guys just out muscled me. So
there you go.
At least one of us said he should do
something for everybody on the show.
There you go. Let's do a couple more lines here just before we get out of here. Jacksonville and Chiefs -9.5 for the Chiefs. I think that's too many points.
I don't.
Really? I don't either.
Not that good.
I think the Jags are good, but the Chiefs are clicking. And then they're going to get Tony Moore in the mix this week.
They gave up 20.5 against Las Vegas. They'll give up 30.5 against the Kansas City football team.
I want to shout out my buddy Jordan Vanek, who does a lot of DFS stuff and just reads a lot of coverage data for the 33rd team. And he tweeted out something earlier that I thought was interesting. And I'm scrolling to try to find it here. This is good radio. Here we go.
Shout out Jordan Vanek. I read he's really good.
Yeah, he is. Patrick Mahomes had 78 dropbacks on Sunday night. He was blitzed on 4 of his 78 dropbacks. The Titans ran a ton of cover 1 to close off quick passing lanes and trusted their pass rush. When they went to zone, it was primarily cover 4. The NFL should take note of this game plan because the Chiefs barely scored 20 points. It took them going into overtime to do it. So
I feel like this was the recipe last year, and then he had a few games where he broke it, and then just sort of a cycle.
Well, yeah,
I remember hearing this last year too.
Well, I think it's one of those things that if you're a good team, you'll adjust. And the Chiefs, when the teams threw cover 2 at them, they just had 2 safeties deep, so Mahomes couldn't go deep with the ball, and he just kept wanting to take shots, so he threw a lot more picks, and he just started to have to take where the what was given to him, and he eventually started just slicing and dicing them. They did the same thing with Joe Burrow at the beginning of the season, and Josh Allen too. So I think like any type of coverage, if you're a good team, then you're going to eventually figure out a way to beat it, but that could take a few weeks before your team has a firm grasp of how to beat a certain coverage. And
NBA rigged.
can I share the article?
Yeah.
It wasn't an article, it was a tweet. But if you want to follow Jordan
Vanek on DFS.
If you want to follow him on Twitter, he's at Jordan Vanek, VANEK DFS. He does do articles on the 30th. That one was just a tweet.
He's a must follow.
Jasper's like $50 in that FanDuel account in there. Let's triple that. Get that money. Yeah, I don't should I just throw it all in one bet? We'll see.
Don't count other people's money, Jasper.
No, he's right. I won $50 this past weekend, so I
put it all on the triple play parlay.
We haven't done that yet.
Shout out to the single person that won the Powerball.
Who won?
They literally even taken the lump sum and taxes. That's like close to $1 billion.
Yeah. That's gonna ruin their life.
Where was the money? Where was the winning ticket found?
California.
California.
Wow.
So what? They're going to be able to buy a 1-bedroom studio?
Yeah, with prices these days, they'll be half their money. All right. Well, we went through some betting lines. Doc, you gave some really good ones when you were looking through them. So I'm definitely going to take advantage of the ones you read off.
Thank you, David.
And if you guys are enjoying the fantasy and betting content, please make sure you guys like the video. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We go live every single Tuesday night at 6:30 Eastern time. So if you have questions and you want to come hang out with us here and have your fantasy questions answered, or just chill with the boys, grab a beer, anything like that, it's all good. We're here to just have a good time with you guys. And obviously, hopefully help you win some money if you do it responsibly. Boys, anything to plug in terms of what's coming up?
I'm plugging flu shots. David can attest. You should have gotten your flu shot. They're saying it's going to be an early and tough flu season this year.
Yeah, I need to go get my flu shot. That is the truth, Johnny. Go get your flu shots.
I need to get my flu shot as well. And also, you can catch me doing NFL and NBA articles on fantraxhq.com every week.
And you're going against Rig this week, so you better be ready. The Doc.
Yeah.
What is wrong with him? And Jasper, you're on board. You're a good dude. For the ghost of Doc who left, for Brad Stradamus, for Johnny Foosball, I'm D Mendy. We're going to make like a bread truck, and we're going to haul these buns. Talk to you guys next week.